Matt.
I'm Shane.
And if you like what you hear, make sure you hit that thumbs up button real hard, and make sure you subscribe to Comic Movie Marks.
And also click that little bell for all of the notifications.
Whee!
Always remember,
if Trailer Trash can do it,
anyone can do it.
Hello and welcome everyone to another YouTube exclusive Comic Movie Marks video.
Oh yeah, that's all I got.
Shane's on the delay, and we are ready to talk about the Justice League Mortals costumes that just got leaked out. We've talked about Justice League Mortals before on this channel. It's kind of one of our most popular videos. A lot of people apparently don't actually listen to it for the most part, or they only they only get so far to the comment of where we said Megan Gale is possibly hotter than Gal Gadot. That seems to be our most common thing now. It seems like a poll's going on. Maybe I should add a poll on that. Who's hotter?
Oh yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, we're getting used to YouTube a little bit.
Oh man, the comments, when you actually get a lot of comments, woohoo! Wow. Some people should not be allowed to have a keyboard. Anyway. Yeah. And then in this instance, some people shouldn't have a mic. But hey, that's what we're here for, to make you realize that people shouldn't have a mic.
or a show at all. But yeah, here we go. Breaking boundaries.
So originally in our Justice League Mortals episode, we had a couple concept art things that we did not line up with what we were talking about. One of the complaints on there that we got, because we didn't line the pictures up with what we were talking about. Oh,
and we won't on this one either, you fuck.
Your imagination, don't use it. No, stop. Don't. Anyway, so we got some pictures that got leaked out. We have a group shot here of all 7 Justice League members. Unite the 7. It was just a little late. We got Batman, we got Superman, we got Flash, we got Aquaman, we got Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and Green Lantern in a pose-off. So
yeah.
This one is interesting. We've seen I keep wanting to say Gal Gadot. She's almost synonymous with Wonder Woman now. We've seen the Wonder Woman costume before in other concept art. So that's actually dead ringer. We've seen the Aquaman, the concept art of his costume, and that's pretty much dead on here. We've seen some molds of the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, which this is pretty close as well.
And I'm curious on this picture because if I remember right reading, he was supposed to be partially CGI, but it looks like they got a full prosthetic work here. Like he's got a padded suit, a muscle suit, if you would say, it looks like on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can tell that maybe not in the arms, but in the chest for sure.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit on the arms. Maybe, accentuate that padding on the outside there. Because everybody's obsessed with fucking padding now, all of a sudden.
Holy shit.
God damn.
Or padding.
Padding. Patting.
Yeah. I love, patting with, but it was one T. So that's why I'm like, that must be padding. And then one of our followers was like, no disrespect, but what's padding? So made me laugh.
Yeah, so apparently this is not only a Justice League Mortals costume breakdown, but a grievance breakdown of our channel comments. Apparently. A little bit of venting. Anyway, it's kind of funny. Green Lantern, which was supposed to be played by Common, was going to be the Jon Stewart one, is being played by some generic white guy they picked off the side of the road.
Yeah, so 2 things I want to note in this is the only actor/actress that is actually in this is Wonder Woman. Everyone else is a stand-in that's not the actual actor. And then one of the things I found on Twitter by Jamal Yassim Eagle, something like that. Anyways, he had posted something on Twitter saying, cast shot from Justice League Mortal, ye gods, yikes. And Armie Hammer actually replied and said, not quite, the Batsuit isn't right, and also the Green Lantern was black. Common was going to nail that role. Kind of, as every clickbait article says, take this with a grain of salt. Obviously there's going to be some changes possibly. And we also came across some other concept art that they had that leaked as well of, kind of different images. Some that almost kind of confirm, like the Superman one from DJ Cotrona. His Superman is actually pretty close to this one. Some of the stuff that has floated around a little bit.
In this picture, he looks like he has either he doesn't quite have a belt or it's a light blue belt in the group shot. In the individual shot of him, it's actually he's got a yellow belt.
Oh,
and I actually feel like his
good point.
background is yellow of the background of the S. I don't know if it's just a poor angle or a poor resolution on the picture, but it looks like there's a lot more yellow in his S and the pops in the background compared to the group shot that we're getting here.
Yeah, it might just be the angle.
It possibly could be the angle. So the Wonder Woman one is pretty dead on. It's kind of interesting now that you see a more frontal shot of it. I guess maybe it's this poor resolution shot, but it doesn't look as bad as the ones. The skirt doesn't look terrible now when you see the way she's standing and it kind of folds to her thighs, to her inner thighs there. I don't know. I guess it still looks pretty cheap. It does look like a little napkin that's just, a little washcloth that is just draped over her. The chest plate still looks fine, but this little washcloth thing here. And then we got the Green Lantern one, which we got in this group shot. It's with a white dude, full black with a green chest piece. Well, not a chest piece, but it's green chest. You can't even see how the emblem looks on here or not. It's either illuminated or it's just bad glare shot. But you can barely even see it. But in the concept art that was released, the costume art, it's pretty dead on to this. It's the same thing. So this was going to be interesting. Why didn't they give this to Ryan Reynolds? Fuck.
Right, yeah, no shit.
Then we got the Flash it looks like the Flash costume. They dusted it off from the 1990s Flash TV show.
Pretty much.
Yeah, dead on. The Aquaman one looks good. I think in this group shot, the Aquaman one actually looks pretty decent. I think it works for the most part.
Yeah, I actually think that's one of the better ones. And like you said, maybe the Green Lantern, those two, and I guess kind of the Wonder Woman. The rest of them, not a huge fan on. I don't like the gloss, and a lot of them, you kind of have like the Superman. It could just be the shot that they're posing for, the lighting and everything in that. But I don't really care for it. It also kind of looks like a purplish blue. So I'm curious how that actually would have came across on screen. But the Aquaman, yeah, it's not bad. It's better than the other image that was floating around, concept art. Almost made him look like a merman. He was like a half fish looking thing. So that
weird. One was weird. Yeah, that was the other one I was going to talk about. That one was weird. That one was weird. It had his water hand, so we were always wondering how that would look when we were reading the script. But apparently, it's just literally a hand of water. Like it's it's a weird image. That one is strange. So in the Flash image here, he's in the red suit, and this is the Barry Allen Flash. Now, if you remember right, in the Justice League Mortals, there was two Flashes. There was Barry Allen and Wally West. There was two of them. Well, spoiler alert, in the Justice League Mortals, Barry Allen sacrifices himself and dies. So then they have Wally West take up the mantle as the new Flash for the Justice League. They just replace him, shoehorn him right in. Well, so then we got this other costume that was floating around, and people were confused, why is it black and all this everything. But it's the Wally West version of Flash. And it's actually described as a memorial suit to the Flash for dying. So that's something I think some people misunderstood or didn't quite understand. They thought this was going to be the costume. Again, it still looks to me cheap as shit. It still doesn't look as good, but that's why it's black, because it's a memorial costume because his uncle, Barry, died. So that's why it's black.
Yeah. And another thing, and maybe we should have plugged this at the beginning, but something to think about, and this is what people lack, and the Death of Superman Lives movie kind of proved this, is that this is just concept art. All of this stuff is concept art. Maybe the group photo could have possibly been a little bit closer. That they started kind of getting a feel for like, okay, this is kind of what we want. Now let's have a group photo. But Armie Hammer then again is saying, no, that's not what the Batman suit was going to look like. So keep that in mind. Like they could have gone through so many iterations. I know Zack Snyder, I want to say he went through 30 something iterations. Different designs of Superman's suit. One actually that had they put on a poster that had the yellow removed, and that actually was on one of the promo posters that kind of floated around for a little bit. But they go through all these different iterations. That there's a chance that this might not have been the final product. So that's something that we should keep in mind. Obviously, the other stuff that was floating around a little bit. There's a chance that might not be the final product as well. And then some of the stuff that we were talking about, similar to Shazam, is his costume or his suit in different angles looks like shit. We were thinking at first, then in others it looks better. And once we get the final product, it could look even better than that. So, take it again. I'm using this twice now in the same episode, but take it with a grain of salt. There's a chance that this isn't even the final product. And like I said, Death of Superman Lives kind of brings a full story together, and you get like, okay, there's a shot where Nicolas Cage actually looks decent. Like, okay, yeah, he might be able to pull off Superman. So that's just something I wanted to throw out there, because a lot of people, it's common now, they like to, no pun intended, in the actor. It's very common now that people love to just jump on something and go, oh, look how shitty this is. And I saw one guy say, of course that movie failed. Look at how the one recently that came out failed.
Oh yeah, that comment.
Yeah, like are you
that
fucking
scholar?
kidding me? Yeah. So yeah, of course this one failed because the recent one didn't do well in the box office. So Justice League is never gonna work. I'm like, you fucking people are stupid. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there, that even though we are commenting on this, giving our thoughts on it as well, there's a good chance that this isn't even what the suits were going to look like.
Yeah, from what we can tell from some of these released images, I mean, looks like there's two different Bat costumes. I mean, we didn't even quite talk about the Batman costume, but Armie Hammer says it's not exactly what he said. And he has this quote of talking about how he was talking to somebody who has like gears and sprockets and pistons on it.
I know you came very close to playing Batman at one point.
Yeah.
I saw some of the Weta suits for that.
You did?
That was a crazy.
Where'd you see him?
A friend at Weta, and it was fascinating because they really went very different than anything. While this is very traditional.
Did you see the bat suit?
I saw the bat suit and I saw the
Superman
suit
with all the carbon fiber and all the mechanics and springs and pistons on it.
That's what seemed like it was really Miller wasn't afraid to shake up what people know about those characters.
Well, what we did was we got down there and George Miller was basically like, we're going to push these DC people farther than they are ever going to be comfortable with. And then the DC people showed up and looked around and they were like, this is farther than we're comfortable with, but we love it and you can do whatever you want. And then it just went even farther. It was great. Yeah.
You could tell by the leg, it looks like there's some gears or like it's some kind of leg brace system. I remember that was actually one of the things in the story was that he gets his ass beat all the time. Batman does. He gets beat up so bad at one point that he has to put augmentations on his suit in order to keep going and in order to keep doing shit. So I'm wondering maybe if this was like a later one that maybe he didn't even quite know about that was supposed to be later in the story. This is the augmented version of the bat suit that was supposed to help him get along. The ears is the one thing actually I wanted to talk about on the bat suit. Wow. Talk about the tallest ears in the bat suit history. Those ones are huge.
I feel like it looks really close to the Arkham game type ears.
Yes,
even
it does.
The face a little bit.
It does actually. Huh. Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, you just got to look at the concept art. Look for yourself. There's the concept art in this image of the Aquaman one's different. Only the Wonder Woman is the only one that seems to be consistent.
Yeah,
that's definitely what they were going to do. They definitely had her ready to go. So again, these are early shots of a costume. These are, like Shane was saying, early stages. I don't understand some of this recent mentality just because what you see on an unfinished screen or by a camera from far away or whatever, you can all of a sudden judge what the movie is going to be like. That's kind of an odd thing. I don't know how Shazam now is going to Shazuk, or whatever that comment was, because the costume may or may not look that great, or you think it's padding. By the way, the word of padding apparently has 15 different versions I didn't know about. So apparently you can't just say it has a little bit of padding or anything like that. Apparently you're blind. So anyway, wow, we are really venting with comments here. Anyway, surprise. Anyway, so again, these are pretty sweet. Justice League Mortals, it failed, and it failed for reasons, that are unfortunate. There was the tax laws that were going on in Australia that weren't going to favor the shooting, the budget anyway, of the show. George Miller wanted to stay in Australia. WYB wanted to move to Canada. Then there was the writer's strike, which is a big deal because you could tell by that script that it needed touch-ups. It needed touch-ups, and there was a writer's strike. It wasn't just because they knew it was going to suck, or it was because The Dark Knight was so much more awesome, or some shit like that. So that's going to kind of end that little discussion. We want to tack on a little thing extra here. Speaking of things that never panned out, and that we got images of that we were drastically confused about. Recently, David Ayers responded to a tweet, I believe this is, a tweet about the images that we saw in the trailer for Suicide Squad, where it showed Joker, half his face burnt. It looked like a gun and a grenade maybe was in his hand. Mm-hmm. And it looked like it was going to be in the final battle because he's wearing the tuxedo. Half his face is burnt. So you believe it's after the helicopter crash of Suicide Squad. Well, David, basically the person tweeted out to him, like, still wondering what's going on with this image, like whatever happened. And David Ayers actually responded to this as such. After Joker dropped HQ, meaning Harley Quinn, from the helicopter. See, this is why I hate Twitter. Anyway, this is really why I hate Twitter. Anyway, so dropped her from the helicopter, and crashed. Enchantress made a deal with him. He was going to take Harley home and be king of Gotham. Harley stood up to him and refused to betray her new friends, and the squad turned on him and he escaped. So originally, I think a lot of people had the impression by the trailers that Joker was going to be a villain in this in some manner. Mm-hmm. And he really wasn't. He just had a raging boner for Harley Quinn, which I kind of do too. So it makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
But that was really his only motivations. Well, this actually kind of leads credence to the fact that eventually, at some point, it was going to be Enchantress and Joker versus the Squad.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
Cool. Thank you for your input, Shane. Well, so I guess that will conclude this episode.
Yeah, there we go. No, yeah, it's really intriguing. I was just thinking, like, man, it's so disappointing, what could have been, and what we were led to believe with the trailers and what ultimately ended up happening. And this just kind of tacks onto it. And I was just staring at this image, of the Joker and how badass it looks. I know a lot of people critiqued Jared Leto's version of the Joker. I didn't mind it. I wanted to see more of it before I could fully come to a conclusion on it. And even just with this tweet, it's kind of like, damn, here's something else that could have been there. And even though David Ayer says that this was his final version, I still call bullshit. Like, I think either it was his final version and he now regrets taking it in a complete different direction. Cause this is pretty much a whole new alternate ending to this film, and it sounds intriguing. Who knows if it would have improved the film overall, but it really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder why the Joker, the kibosh was put on him being such a key part of key catalyst in this whole film. So it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, Suicide Squad goes down as one of the most false advertising movies ever. The trailers were so bad at one point, whether or not you agree or disagree with the guy or not, but one guy was literally thinking about suing WB because of the false advertising. Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid, but it's still funny. I mean, like, it just proves the point that, like, holy shit, did they just really fuck the pooch on this one?
Yeah.
I don't know. It would have been fine. I really hated the ending of Suicide Squad. If you remember right, I could not stand the fact that there was like a 20-minute slow-mo scene of throwing a gun and
I do remember that.
All that shit. I could not stand the end of Suicide Squad. So this actually would have really perked things up for me, and at least it would have had some kind of reasonable conflict instead of some crazy woman trying to swing a bat at a mystical witch and a dude trying to shoot him. Everybody that had powers wasn't doing shit except for Croc. He's the only one that had powers that was left. And he couldn't do jack shit. So it was just kind of, it was kind of a lame ending. Ayers, yeah, like you said, is this really his cut? He keeps saying it is. When it came down to the fact that it was a middle ground cut, I think. Originally they had a cut done by a trailer company, a music video company, something like that. And then they had David Ayer's cut. And then I think what they ultimately said was it really met in the middle. It kind of bounced between that cut and his cut. And this is what they came up with. And you could tell because The music is all over the place. It's disorienting and everything else. So
Yep.
I'm not going to drag on too much about that. But that's something we could have had. We could have had Joker in the final battle. So let us know down in the comments what you thought if you wanted to see that version of Joker in the final battle. Would it have made the final battle better for you or worse? Do you hate Jared Leto's Joker? Is he Suzucks or whatever?
Jajux.
Jajux.
Just sucks. Fuck, I don't know. Stupid ass people.
I don't know how people come up with this genius shit. I have no idea.
People probably say the same thing about us. So.
Oh, I know. Yeah. No, we never say we're smart, but we can make fun of you for being dumb.
True. Exactly.
So that's going to conclude our little mix and match here talk about Justice League Mortal costume art that we got to see and Jared Leto being screwed out of his final battle with the Squad.
And some bonus material with us bitching about our comments that was not planned whatsoever.
Please leave comments. We're just kidding. We'd read them. We debate on responding to them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, as some of you, our core group, you guys are badass. And then the people who are joining kind of that core group and commenting consistently, even if we disagree with you, we get some really solid comments. But the thing that just makes us shake our head is some of the shitty ass comments that we get where we're like, seriously, you clearly did not watch the entire video. You just commented like a jackass and wanted to seem smart. So
it's pretty funny. It's entertaining. It blows me away. Like, I don't care. Like the one guy that said we had a really stupid ass video or dumb ass video. That's fine. That's fine. At least it sounds like he listened.
Makes me laugh.
That one makes sense. But the other ones where it's like you're repeating something we just said, or or like you're just.
I like how you said the one guy who said we had a dumbass video. That one makes sense. Yeah, I get that.
Well, it does. It makes more sense than repeating back what we just said.
Right.
Or I mean, just not. I mean, yeah. Anyway, it's weird. People hear things differently. I guess people just skip out. It just feels like if you're going to commit yourself to a comment section, you think you would want to say something that's a little bit better than Shazam Shazucks or whatever.
Right.
Because that makes no fucking sense.
Good try, though.
Anyway, thank you for being our therapist at this moment and listening to us bitch, moan, gripe, blah, 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 and all that other shit. In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. You're one of very few to make it to the end.
Yes, thank you very much.
Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Comic Movie Marks Podcast and hit the notification bell. You know, all these fucking YouTube channels say this shit, so I'm going to say it now.
Yes, it's perfect. And if you want to hear our full podcast, you can check out our podcast on iTunes or any other podcast subscription service.
Make sure you subscribe. Thanks again.